This week, Marvel, DC, and Hollywood all brought the heat with major reveals, castings, and surprise twists. From Fantastic Four reactions to Stranger Things 5, Vision Quest, Superman, and more. We've got everything you need to know today on Fandomentals. Hey, how's it going?
Heyo! I am fantastic. I got all my furniture, my new house. Everything's still in boxes, but we're getting there. We're slowly but surely getting there. I have a seat now and a little table. I'm just living my best life. How are you?
Good, good. Did you get some rest from the concert?
Sure. No, I got like 6 hours of sleep. We didn't go to bed until like 4 a.m., but then I woke up at like I think 10:30 or something like that. So
It's not too
I got
bad
enough
then.
sleep that
Yeah,
I'm energized. Plus, I have a Red Bull, my trusty dusty Red Bull.
there you go. What's life without Red Bull?
Yeah,
Well, you ready to start off with some Marvel?
absolutely.
So, Vision Quest is assembling, and the casting just made this Disney Plus series unmissable. I'm loving every little bit of information we're getting from this, but with some of the cast announcements, we've had Tania Miller as Joe Costa, Ultron's
Yeah,
first android wife in the comics. Also, we've seen, I think Joe Costa teased with Tony Stark's one of his AIs because we see like I can't remember which movie it was. Maybe it was yeah, it was Ultron, Avengers: Age of Ultron. We actually see one of the clip shows Friday, which we get Friday later on. Then we see Jocasta, I believe, and then we see oh my goodness, the Big Hero 6 one. Uh
I don't I don't
Tadashi.
know.
Maybe it's
Oh,
Tadashi.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it's the Baymax one that he uses. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, and Tadia Miller is from Haunting of Bly Manor and Fall of the House of Usher.
Yeah.
And then
Two of the those are both whatchamacallit, Mike
Mike
Flanagan
Flanagan. Yeah, yeah.
series is.
Yeah, there she
Um,
is.
yeah, I dude, I've been excited for Vision Quest and
Yeah.
I know that's not coming out in 2026 until 2026, but like I can still be excited,
Oh yeah.
right?
No, 100%.
Okay.
I've been excited for I think ever since WandaVision. I mean, honestly, like after it ended, and
Mhm.
then Jack Schaefer, was supposed to be on this, and then she actually had to pull off of it because of Agatha. But I think it's still in good hands. So I think we're still doing good. And then also the other one was Emily Hampshire, rumored as the human version of the AI Edith, as we see
Oh,
in No Way Home, or no, not No Way Home, Far From Home with Peter. So yeah,
I loved her sass, like Edith's
yes,
sass.
yeah,
I know it's not the same person that is
right,
voicing it, or is going to actually be the acting role, because the person that does the Edith voice only does like voice acting,
voice acting,
which is
gotcha.
still like, acting, but like I'm still excited. Like I don't really know anything that she has been in.
Hmm.
But like dude, I don't know. Like I loved Edith Sass and I think that that's really going to just come through in this and
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to do it or what they're going to do. And this is supposed to pick up right off of like Wakanda or not Wakanda shoot, sorry. um WandaVision.
Hmm.
So God.
I'm super excited, and what's crazy is like from what we're seeing and what we're hearing, and all this came from Daniel Rickman, by the way, which was a source, and so we know, he's got a pretty good track record. But it seems like we're getting all these like physical versions of Tony's AIs, and like kind of knowing like the where AI is coming in real life. I think this would be super sick if it's going to be like what it really seems. It's just going to be really centered around AI.
Yeah.
I'm super excited about that. I've been like waiting and dying to see White Vision, Spectral Vision, whatever you want to call him. We don't even know what these being called nowadays. But I love Paul Bettany. And
Yeah.
I miss seeing Vision on screen just as much as I miss seeing Wanda. But
Mhm.
I'm super excited about this. Um,
Yeah. Do you
uh,
think that like maybe we'll see more of Paul Bettany or maybe Vision or maybe even yeah, no, just that. in Doomsday, since that's coming out at the very end of 2026 now.
I hope. I think he needs to be a part of it. I mean, I really enjoyed like the fight scene we got in Age of Ultron with him. That was sick, especially like when they're in that round area and it's slowly spinning around. You get to see all of them working together. Um, Vision's been off screen really in like a huge team up for a long time. So I think yeah. I mean, last time we seen him was Infinity. I mean, we had WandaVision, right? But that was not really Vision. Well,
No,
I guess
because you had like
that's when we
Vision
get the
Vision.
White Vision, yeah. But,
Yeah.
like, like, he was dead, right? I mean, that was Wanda's creation of Vision putting,
Yeah, but I
his
mean he was
costume
still,
yeah, yeah. But, like, Infinity Wars, last time we actually got to see Paul Bettany in action. So, yeah,
yeah.
I don't know.
Anytime
I'm
I
ready.
think of like Vision now, I think of like the scene in WandaVision when he was eating the gum
Yeah.
and they were doing like the talent show and he was actually like using magic and then Wanda be like
Yes.
and then like something would appear to be like, "Oh, this is how it was done. That's
Yeah.
crazy."
I love the cartoon that cartoon with the gear and stuff in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of
Uh,
like why it happened. Yeah.
it was great. But, Brave New World, you can watch it as much as you want for free, as long as you're subscribed to Disney Plus. That is
Mhm.
out now. So I've meant to watch it this past week, but I still have not. So it's definitely on my list to rewatch this coming
We had
week.
a lot of news come through this week, so it's
Oh my
understandable.
goodness, so much. Um, which one of my favorite topics to talk about is this one right here. Mark Ruffalo's Hulk is back supposedly, and this time he is stepping into Spidey's brand new day. So this may not be exactly the Hulk. It may be more
Yeah.
just Bruce Banner. I don't know, but it's ought to be super interesting because I don't know. It's just not quite who I expected to see in Spider-Man. I know. I think like one of the things with the deal with Sony and Marvel is they have to have like one Avenger in the film with them for
Okay.
whatever reason that is, and so now supposedly it's going to be Bruce Banner. I know putting the two guys who've had the biggest track record of leaking stuff out is going to be
Interesting.
interesting to see if anything gets leaked out or if they've got hold of
Yeah, because
themselves
this
and
is like a
they
rumor,
learned.
or is it like actually like known
This is
that
like
he's
a
gonna be in it?
strong rumor. So
Yeah.
like I feel like this is one of those things that's almost everything but officially announced.
Mhm.
I think there's multiple sources out there, and there's multiple decent sources that this comes from. It's not just from one or like a big hearsay from someone that's not,
Yeah.
super of value. But I don't know. What would you like to see in this? If this is true, if Bruce Banner the Hulk is in this, what would you like to see?
I would like him to be smart Hulk and him to be like his new man in the chair because
Hmm.
now he doesn't have one, right? Because Ned doesn't remember who Peter is.
Right.
Like he just like that's completely unknown. He just knows that there's a Spider-Man. So like I feel like um Peter Parker still needs his man in the chair, especially if this is going to be a Spider-Man 24/7. And I think that would play a role into like having Smart Hulk.
Hmm.
And I know there's like some controversy with like Smart Hulk and whatever, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that would make sense to me.
You think they like I see that. And so here's an unpopular opinion. I like Smart Hulk. I know there's a lot of people who don't, and they're ready to see the ravishing, like angry, rage-filled Hulk, which I love that Hulk too. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
And
I
I
like
think
the two
Smart Hulk,
sides.
yeah, I think Smart Hulk has had his time, and I think it's a good time to kind of fade back into a more ravaging, ravage feel Hulk. But
Mm,
last time we seen Hulk was She-Hulk,
yeah.
and now he can go back and forth to being Bruce because he's got that thing on his arm.
Hmm.
So I almost feel like we're going to get more Bruce Banner in this than Hulk. And I
Okay.
don't know about a man in the chair. Like I see what you're saying, and that makes sense. But do you think that they would have a person of that character and that that staple to be just the man in the chair, or do you
I don't
think?
know. Like,
Yeah.
or sorry, I cut you off, or do I think
No, 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 go ahead. I don't know. I'm sitting here, my mind's just like turning right now. I'm like, I don't know. I almost don't feel
of
like they would use him as a man chair, but at the same time, I don't know.
if you have to meet that wicket of the person being there, and because we know that there's so many villains in this, right?
Right.
We said last week that there were like three, right?
Mhm.
That we at least know for sure.
Yeah, Boomerang,
So like,
Tombstone, and Scorpion.
exactly.
Yeah,
So with those three, like I don't know, like I feel like he needs to have somebody there, like
to
to
team up
really
with.
talk to him.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I don't know. I feel like it would be a smart move, and I know that it is like a lesser role, but it is a
Mhm.
Spider-Man movie. It's not
Sure.
Hulk and Spider-Man, you know. And so you're still getting the Hulk in it to meet that wicket of you have an
Right.
Avengers in a Sony project. Um, but
It's just
I think
wild to
that that
think,
would
like,
make sense.
they're, like, staying so grounded and stuff. I know this is wild, but, like, growing up in the '90s animated Spider-Man series, which is, what kinda sparked my love for Marvel, was that and the X-Men. So I'd never forget there's an episode where Peter struggles, and he actually starts mutating into a giant spider monster. Yeah,
Oh,
and I was thinking, like, Bruce has, dealt with blood and stuff being mixed in and mutation and experimenting.
okay.
I know they're probably never gonna go that wild, or at least this soon with Peter and Spider-Man, but that would be
Mhm.
cool if he struggled with something like that, and then Bruce actually had to help him, like, bring him
Like
back.
calm him down. Yeah.
Yeah, and, like, would do some blood work, come up with an experiment or something to keep him from mutating into a grotesque spider. I don't
Mm.
know, but it's hard to know what's going on because, like, we get these grounded villains, but then we hear these multiversal, rumors of stuff with it. But then now we have Bruce Banner, the Hulk in it. It's
Yeah,
really
because
hard
we
to
don't
know which route this is going. This movie is.
and we still don't know who Sadie Sink is going to be, if she is going to actually be
That's
Jean
right.
Grey.
Yeah.
Um, so like it is questionable of like how grounded it is
Mhm.
and how they're going to make that look. I don't know. Especially because like if he does get Spider-Man's DNA, wouldn't that mean that he would also know then he's Peter Parker?
Oh my god, I'm so glad you said this. So there's a rumor out there, and I've heard this from multiple people. So, like, I don't even know who to, like, really say the source is. I think there's multiple people that has this. So the rumor is that Hulk might have been off planet to go visit his son Scar on Sakaar,
Oh, okay.
and Bruce Banner probably will not remember who Peter Parker is, but Hulk will. 'Cause
Oh.
when that went across, and he did that spell or whatever, maybe that hit Bruce Banner, but there's no way to internally get to the Hulk creature that's inside of him. It just kinda does like your regular mindset or who you are in that moment. So when the
Mhm.
Hulk comes out, there's people that are, theorizing that literally when he'll turn into the Hulk, he'll say something about Parker and, like, he remembers him, but Bruce Banner won't, and I love that theory. I think that would be so
That's
cool.
interesting. Because now you have this I don't,
Because they are
I
2 different minds, right? They are completely 2 different minds. Because we seen Hulk, really take over and shove Bruce Banner down deep during, Thor Ragnarok, and
mhm.
then, we see when Bruce Banner, when it's just Bruce Banner, how he'll have conversations with the Hulk when he was struggling in, Infinity War or
Yeah.
Endgame or whatever, and
Yeah,
so
yeah,
we
yeah.
know they're completely 2 different minds, but they are inside of each other somehow. But,
Okay.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's so many theories out there, and I thought that was a pretty cool one. I'm so glad you said that because I forgot to, write that down.
No, you're good. I don't know. I think that's interesting though. Especially because now we do have the rendition of Smart Hulk, which is kind of the merger of the two
Mhm.
brains. So
Right.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know either because because like, right now, when he goes from Bruce Banner to that, he's still Smart Hulk last we seen, I believe, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm cool. I'm willing to see these 2 on screen together, and
Yeah.
this release date's July 31st of next year. Hopefully,
Yeah.
that stays the same. July has always been
Yes.
a big Spider-Man, most of the time, it's been a Spider-Man release. I think the last one, No Way Home, came out in December, though, but prior to that, I think it's been mostly July releases for all Spider-Man movies.
I'm just excited that we don't have to wait more than a year because Fantastic Four is this year in July
Next month.
25th, I think.
Next
Yeah.
month.
No. Oh shoot. Yeah, it is June.
It's June 1st.
Today is June.
Yeah.
Today is June. But anyway, like I'm just happy that we don't have to wait longer than a year right now, as it
Right.
is for another
Yeah.
Marvel movie. Um, because
Yeah.
yeah, I would be
Yeah.
I would be so sad if we'd had to wait longer.
No, for sure.
So sad.
So we got our first look, some still shots from Eyes of Wakanda, and these images are beautiful. These came from Entertainment Weekly. There's actually more than just this, but here's a couple of them right here,
Mhm.
and I like it. I think it's a a unique animation style. I like that it doesn't really feel too much like anything else. I'm
Mhm.
super interested to see this. Anything you give me of Wakanda and to dive more deep into it and like to learn more about it, I'm here. I
Yeah.
wish there was a lot more live action Wakanda already out. Just something. If I had to pick like one Marvel, place to visit, if it would be real, it would probably be Wakanda. I feel like they got the best of everything. Like they have that authentic, real, like beautiful in the jungle, feel, but at the same time, it's mixed in with all the great technology. So yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, so
Mhm.
Eyes of Wakanda is supposed to be, if I'm not mistaken, it's multiple stories happening throughout the years, like throughout different decades and time periods,
Okay.
is what I've read, and so
Yeah,
it'd be interesting.
I don't know anything about the storyline, but when I saw it, and I do know that there are a couple of articles also out there that people are like, this looks a lot like Arcane,
Mm,
like the animation style. And
okay,
then like there are some Love, Death, and Robots um, episodes that kind of like look similar. So
right,
I I like I like the when people use different types of animation and test things out. So I wonder
right.
if it is going to be different times of eras, if they're gonna use different art styles.
I don't know.
I think that
I
would be
like.
interesting.
I really like how like our last animated series we got Spider-Man, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I really love that. That was really unique. And then I
Mhm,
actually really like a lot of the what if animation. I think it's interesting to see the MCU not keeping the same consistent animation, but
mhm,
somehow it works so. Like
yeah,
so far, none of it's let me down. So
fingers crossed.
yeah, on to more sad news. Particularly, I feel more sad for me. But Marvel has officially announced that they are skipping Hall H this year at San Diego Comic Con. And yeah, it would be a way bigger surprise if maybe this happened a couple weeks ago. But supposedly it's all because of the Avengers dates being pushed back. They are now not doing Hall H this year, and they'll do like the really big Hall H next year before Avengers Doomsday comes out toward the end of the year. So
I'm so sorry for you, because I know that you were really looking forward to that, especially because this is the first time you're going to San Diego Comic-Con.
yeah,
Um,
and that was my main reason I want to go. So I read that Marvel will still have a good sized presence there. They'll still have their panels about their new comic stuff, Marvel
mhm.
games, and I was told because that is the 2 weeks before that or a week before that's when Fantastic Four comes out.
It's
So
during
like
the
the
exact same time.
is it
So
okay?
San Diego Comic-Con is from July 24th to July 27th,
Mhm.
and Fantastic Four is July 25th.
Okay. So I was told that they will have a Fantastic Four presence and they will be doing something special for that, but that's it. Like it's going to be the games, the comics, and Fantastic Four. No big Hall H presence with big announcements, with bringing
Mhm,
in, probably because like one thing they did was I think like Infinity War and Endgame is they brought in like half the Avengers cast on
mhm.
stage and stuff. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
next year. But here's what I'm hoping. Here's what I'm hoping by still attending this year, at the end of it, I think you get priority to buy tickets for the next year before they go on
Yeah,
sale for everyone else.
yeah. Because,
So
you've already gone, then you already are guaranteed a spot if you would like to come back.
and I'm making sure to guarantee that spot. That's all I'm saying. Oh,
Um,
but my heart sunk when I got this the other day. I read this, like it, I felt sick to my stomach.
yeah. I mean, like, maybe you'll get some, more show news because we still do have
Mm,
shows coming out. Like, October, you have the Zombies, and
yeah,
December, you have Wonder Man. Um,
so
and then you
maybe we'll
have
get I get to see some like little scenes, some clips or something that they might.
and then
Yeah.
you have Vision Quest, so maybe
Well,
coming out
yeah.
next year, you know? So,
And now here's another thing too, like, if they for some reason would be if I can get in there, whatever the Fantastic Four thing they do, and they actually bring on the cast of Fantastic Four, that would be worth it too. That would be worth it itself just to be in the same room with them on stage and get to hear them talk about it. And,
yeah.
I mean, when Deadpool Wolverine came out last year, they did a showing of it at San Diego Comic-Con with the people,
Mhm.
so maybe they'll do that with Fantastic Four this year. That would
Yeah.
be cool to get to
Who
watch
knows?
it with the cast or do some kind of screening.
Yeah, I wonder if Vanessa Kirby is actually gonna be there because she just announced that she's pregnant.
Yeah.
Um,
I think it's
so
crazy she plays a pregnant person in Fantastic Four, and then she just announced she is at Mexico City they were just at. She announced it, I believe, or
yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
I don't know. But
But
I think that would be cool, especially
yeah.
to like just be in the same room as Pedro Pascal,
Oh yeah.
Daddy Pascal.
Yeah. Well, Eben Moss Bachrach, her, like all of them, Joseph Quinn. I mean, that's Eddie from Stranger Things too. On top of their, I don't know, that whole cast, I would be honored just to be in the same room as. So,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
but something I didn't expect. The Eternals are far from gone. Reports say that they'll help define or be at least a part of Marvel's next saga. And yeah, so another unpopular opinion. I liked Eternals. A lot of
I didn't
people,
hate it.
I thought it was a good storytelling,
I
foundational
thought it was
story.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
I'd love
a
to see
lot.
Peter Dinklage again.
He was in that.
Yeah, he was like in the end credit scene or something like that. I thought.
No,
Maybe not.
no, no, he wasn't.
Oh,
Um, no, the people that was
okay.
in the end credit scene was oh my goodness, Thanos'
I'm
brother.
sorry.
No, no, you're good. Star Fox, I think. It's and Pip the Troll. Eternals.
Apparently, it's been a really long time since I've seen this
Yeah,
movie.
Patrick Oswalt plays Pip the Troll. Uh, and let's see, Harry Styles plays Eros, Thanos' brother, and that's who pops in at the end. And then there's another one where it's Kit Harington and Blade or Herschel Ali. That's the other end credit scene we get. That might be a little yeah. I don't want to talk about that.
Yikes.
But yeah, I think it's
I
Patrick Oswald. I think is the voice that plays Pip the Troll comes in with
can't. I
Thanos'
don't know
brother.
why I thought Peter Dinklage was in that. I don't.
Peter Dinklage was in with Thor
He was in
forging
Thor as
Stormbreaker.
a giant.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, he's a giant dwarf on that star forming. It was an in game, or yeah, in game,
Mm,
or not in
I
game.
don't know.
I'm sorry, Infinity War. Wow, but
I
I
don't
don't know.
know. I don't know.
Apparently, so there was like a rumor that Eternals was going to get a second part, and it was going to be more of an anime style animation of telling more stories. And I don't know if that's true or if we're going to get back to live action. But this is reportedly, we're going to get them in the next saga after Secret Wars. So
Oh, okay, so it's after Secret Wars, so kind of
yeah,
like more with the X-Men saga, or
yeah. Well, I mean, we're going to get our other characters mixed in with X-Men, so I think it may
mm,
just be another story with them, because the original story took place, in the past and in the present. So I don't know. It'd be interesting to see if this is true or if it just actually never happens. So,
yeah,
but I
I don't
enjoyed
know.
the first Eternals. But next on the list, it's something I'm super sad. I'm not a big game person, but when the Marvel drops games, I do buy them, and I typically love them most of the time. But EA just killed the Black Panther game, and fans are not happy, and they are not being quiet about it because we had a badass trailer for this game.
Yeah,
Oh my god. Like why? Like I feel like the game was everything but done. You put this much money, this much time into it. I don't
yeah,
know. So apparently there's like 5 other Marvel games that are still going to come out, but
mhm,
that's cool. Don't get me wrong, that's cool. I'll take them. But this is one I was probably like one of the most excited about because I
yeah.
think there's even a team up with Black Panther. Because if I'm not mistaken, this movie was going to have T'Chaka in it, Black Panther's father. That's who the story was about, and there was a team up in this movie with him and Captain America.
You
Or
mean in the game?
yes,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Hmm.
I don't
I don't
know.
know, like, was it I don't really remember anything about this game just 'cause,
Really,
like,
look the trailer up. I tell
I
you, the trailer looks sick.
well, and that's the thing too is that, like, EA and, like, other game, like, companies have been kind of, like, canceling their projects,
Mhm.
so, I mean, like, I'm just kinda like, I'm not gonna be, like, excited about it until I get an actual date, and that's the same thing with, like, the Wolverine game,
Right.
that
Been
EA
waiting
is also
many
supposed to
years
be
for
coming out
that.
with.
I think
Yeah,
that was
so that's
announced
why
in
I'm like,
2021.
mhm, or something like that, yeah, but that's why I'm like, I'm not gonna get excited about, like, anything until it has, like, a release date, except if it's, like, shows apparently,
Right.
yeah.
I don't know. it still pisses me off. Like I feel like there was so much time. I don't even know the reason why. I don't know if there's even been a reason why it released. It's just announced that they've canceled it. So,
Yeah.
but Fantastic Four test screening had a public screening, and it's got mixed reviews. Some say it's weak CGI, thin character arcs. Some say it's really good. Some say it's mid. But nothing really though out of this has came out saying that it's awful or it's bad. So it'd be interesting to see like what this is and
Hmm.
what they end up doing, like the final play is on this. I know we get a runtime now of 2 hours and 10 minutes is what it is as of now. They're
Yeah.
they're doing some reshoots and stuff, but
Okay.
yeah. So also another way it's been described was it's very Lovecraftian, cosmic horror, and really good. And then I had one thing that was like widely said about everybody if they thought it was just okay or if they thought it was really good. Everybody said that Galactus is super terrifying and amazing. They s- they said like he's terrifying, and
The
so
cosmic horror like has my attention because
right.
I do love me some good horror. So
Yeah, and
yeah,
I've not
yeah.
seen Lovecraft yet. That's something actually that I really want to see. That's on my list. I've never gotten around to, so I'm curious to watch
Is that a
that
movie?
now. I think it's a movie or a show. It's actually has King the Conqueror in it.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
I can't think of his name.
I cannot think of his name either.
That's awful right now. I cannot believe that. Um, yeah,
Because he's
Kang.
pretty much stayed out of the news
Y-
and stuff
Yeah, well,
since
love
his
Jonathan Majors.
allegations.
Damn.
Jonathan Majors. There
Yeah,
we go.
but Lovecraft came out like a long time ago, like quite a while back,
Okay.
like way prior to that. But
And is that just like a movie that has nothing to do
I
with?
think it's a show.
Okay. But it
Yeah.
doesn't have anything to do with like Marvel or anything, right?
No,
It's
no,
just
no. I think it's like a sci-fi horror or sci-fi thriller or something like that. Like I said, I've
sci-fi
not
horror
watched it.
makes me think Alien.
So it's been like on my list. Yeah, I think they actually talked to Ralph Fiennes and is it Einstein or Ines? I can't. I'm drawing a blank too.
Finds. I say finds. I know that people call them fiends as well,
Yeah,
but
I think it's Fiennes. But
that's how I always pronounce it. Yeah.
yeah, but he says somebody asked him like, "What'd you do to kind of like prep for Galactus?" And he's like, "Oh, I drove down long tunnels." He's like, and imagine that was Galactus's windpipe. He's like, and then I also like went to a lot of real tall buildings and just stood out on the balconies and like overlooked cities. And he's like, I swear I did. He's like, I even went to this wedding that was at the top story of a building or whatever. He's like, and then my wife got onto me and pulled me back in from the balcony because I was just overlooking the city and just really trying to get a good feel. And she's like, "You realize we have to see the agreement bride before we leave, right?" Like, yeah,
I love Voldemort. All right, like he is a phenomenal actor.
yeah.
Him and
Such
his
a
brother Joseph.
such an
Both of them are
iconic
just
voice too.
yeah, yeah. Both of them are amazing. Like you've seen the menu, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. With Nicholas Holt.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's a good movie.
he is good in that too. I mean, like I can name off so many different movies that he's been in that I've just really enjoyed, and I don't think there's really ever been a movie that I haven't enjoyed. And Conclave is like really popping off again because
Not
of
seen that.
the Pope. No, I haven't neither.
Oh, okay.
But I think it's like streaming on something, so I think after this I'm gonna try to see if it's streaming on anything to try to check it out because um once the Pope Francis was it Pope Francis died?
I think
I don't
so.
know.
I don't really
The
keep up
Pope.
with it. That sounds bad of
The
me, but I
Pope
don't.
before
Yeah,
now the Pope.
that one guy.
Um I'm sorry. I'm not
I don't either.
I
Like, I have no
I
idea.
am accepting of everybody, so like
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, cool. I'm sorry if that's your niche. But like when that Pope died, Conclave really like picked up and
On viewership.
yeah, again, and it became popular again because the
Gotcha.
conclave is, I guess, all about like the choosing of the pope, and
Right.
um, so I don't know. I feel like it's probably interesting, and like I said, Ralph Fiennes is the pope, so um, yeah,
Yeah, great actor, great actor. So,
Sorry, I just totally went off on my own like
no,
little
no, you're
tangent
good.
world.
Um, so one more thing, or not one more, another thing, and I'll tell you right now, it's a Fantastic Four possible post-credit spoiler. So if you don't want to hear
La la
this,
la la la.
skip
Yeah.
skip through like maybe 3 minutes, maybe 2 minutes. Like we're not going
Yeah,
to
because
dive too
Taylor's
too
not gonna
deep
have
into this.
anything to say on this.
I didn't want to hear this, and I if it's real, like, but at the same time, I'm like, I want to dive into it so bad. So, anyways, all right, post credit spoiler warning, possibly only if this comes out true. There's a good chance it could not be true, so take this with a grain of salt, regardless. But Fantastic Four post credit spoiler: Doctor Doom and Franklin Richards is in one room. Yeah, Marvel literally. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if this is true, but so supposedly we were told by the creator, and the writer of this, that he did not want to put Doom in Fantastic Four first steps because he felt like his character being so big, his presence would be suffocating. He really wanted to focus on the family, and then Doom would come in later on, right? Because we have Avengers Doomsday, yada yada yada. So supposedly, here's what the end credit scene is, and this is what is reported supposedly after watching this public screening. Sue is in a room reading to Franklin. Sue goes to walk out of the room after reading and returns back in the room and finds Doom holding his mask in hand. You don't see his face, and he's sitting right next to Franklin. And then it goes off. And it says something like Fantastic Four will return, whatever, supposedly. So that's supposedly what the post credit scene is. And here's the thing, like, if this is true, and the director said I didn't want him, if it doesn't show his face, I don't think it would still be a suffocating in credit scene. So you'd still get everything you wanted, embodying, focus on them in the movie. Uh, but that's a pretty crazy scene to see if it is true. It would be
That seems like
super
a
super cool.
mid-credit scene, and I mean that is something that I did say that I thought was going to happen during Fantastic Four was that Doom was going to be in the end credit scene.
Hmm.
Um, so that
Yeah,
would
so
make sense to me. Or
I
maybe it
think
would
it
be
would.
all the way at the end, and then it would say like Doom returns in Doomsday or
Yeah.
something like that.
Or if they do let's see, if they do Fantastic Four will return, or it says Fantastic Four and then it says and Doom will return in Avengers Doomsday, because we know they
I
all
don't
are
know. They've
because
never done that, you know.
they
It's
were in the
always just
cast chair.
been yeah. I mean, but it's always just been like one person's name will
Right.
return, you know, like
Yeah.
it's never been two, and
Right.
let alone five, I
Well,
guess,
well,
because
it's been a
Fantastic
group.
Four.
We got the Thunderbolts will return, or the New Avengers will return, didn't we?
Yeah, but I mean, like it's always the one thing. It's not
Oh, gotcha,
multi.
gotcha.
You know what I
Right,
mean?
right, right. Yeah,
Like
one
it's
one title.
Thunderbolts, Avengers,
Yeah.
Captain America, Deadpool, whatever, right? Will return. Oh,
Right.
actually, wait, Deadpool and Wolverine,
They
did
didn't say
they?
that. I don't think.
Ah,
Yeah.
huh. Because I guess at that point they didn't know, and now they're trying to. So
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, and then one last thing for Fantastic Four is Mo Man. I think it's been confirmed, or it has been confirmed by Joseph Quinn. He literally was at CCXP in Mexico City, and they were like on stage, and Joseph Quinn said that, there's. So I think the person asked them, "What can you tell us about some of the iconic characters that are in this?" And he literally said, he's like, "Well, Mo Man is in it, and it's pretty iconic because we all know that was like the part of the first comic series that came out, and
Mm,
they're incorporating that." He's like, now he's like, Galactus is the main villain, but Mo Man is, a piece of this. And so that's really cool. And the rumor is that Paul Walter Hauser is who's the one's gonna be playing him. We know he is in the movie, but he's one of the faces that we have not seen to who he's playing. But it's almost like everything but confirmed that that's who he's playing as Mo Man. And more
mm,
than likely, we'll end up getting like a scene of that battle, like a flashback. Because one thing that kind of ties this all in is when we see some of them in the trailer, they're standing on the road looking up at Silver Surfer. We see they're standing on a giant metal disc in the road. And then this metal disc is also like part of, I think, a Funko Pop or a toy that's already been or teased to be released. And it says something about on that, like, on this day, the Fantastic Four saved the city, and it's literally a callback in a time to where they actually had their battle with Mole Man and they saved the city from him. Because the front of that comic
mm,
is when that giant monster he's over comes up out of the street, and it's just one of the most iconic scenes and stuff that they have. And like I said, I think it's the very first edition of Marvel's First Family as well in the comics.
Interesting.
Yep. So I'm super excited.
Yeah. I mean,
I
like
don't
I
know.
don't really know anything about Mole Man.
Hmm.
But I like that, Marvel is bringing out characters that are a little less known to make them more known, if that
Hmm.
makes sense.
And that and playing just paying homage to some of their things where they originally came from out of the comics. That was cool. Like this, we don't need to see a movie full of Mo Man because he's kind of I think it's kind of silly. I mean he's literally a villain, like a little squatty villain that travels underneath the ground like a mole.
Hmm.
But it being their first comic and it being an iconic artwork that they have, like I actually have a 3D render of the comic as well. It's like just a
Mm.
collectible, but I don't know. I think it's cool that they're doing that.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. Mr. Sinister is supposedly coming to the MCU, and rumor says that John Hamm might be wearing his cape playing him. So this is super interesting to find out. There's like I think there's like I don't know 3 villains that's being teased to be some of the main villains in the X-Men reboot when we get them to this new saga. I think
Yeah.
Bolivar Trask is one, Mr. Sinister is one, and there's one more. I can't remember what it is. The other two are like mid. It's like what you expect, what you've always seen.
Yeah.
But I would love for this to be true and us to get Mr. Sinister. And I absolutely love John Hamm. Like I think John Hamm's great. There's nothing not a role I've ever seen him in that's not great. And it's so weird that I just read this through this one because I just started rewatching Mad Men again the other day. Uh, I love
It's
John Hamm. I think
a
he's an
show I've
iconic.
never actually watched. I feel like okay, no, I feel like I'm getting two people mixed up, but I think I know who
Okay,
John Hamm is.
John
I think.
Hamm. He's also in Baby Driver. You ever watch Baby Driver?
Yeah, with Tina
Yeah.
Fey?
No, Baby Driver.
No, I'm thinking of a different movie apparently.
So Baby Driver has John Hamm in it, John Bernthal. I can't think of the.
Nope,
Uh,
never seen this movie.
you should watch it. It's really really good. Like I've
Okay.
watched it probably a dozen times. It's that good. Um, but anyways, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I think John Hamm would be a great cast for him, though. I think it would. I would love to see John Hamm come into the MCU. Uh, I have literally no idea what I would want him to see, and this makes sense for me. I feel like he could pull
Yeah.
this off. And
Yeah,
like
I don't.
Mr. Sinister was a part of the X-Men '90s series and in the comics off and on as well. He wasn't like one of the
Yeah.
biggest villains, but he was always pulling strings, in the dark corners and stuff. So he's still a villain that a lot of people like, and I think this is one that a lot of people have been meaning to see on live
Yeah.
action. Did you look up
He
John
was in
Hamm?
Tag. Yeah, he was in Tag. It's a movie that I
Oh
just
yeah,
recently
I love
watched.
Tag. Yeah,
He was
yep. Tag is
also
good.
he's Sentinel Prime in Transformers 1. He was in Fargo, the TV series. I don't know if you ever watched that, but that was hilarious.
Never watched it, but I know what you're talking about.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Cool. So I know who you're talking about. Oh, and he was
He's a
he's in Top
landman.
Gun Maverick.
Oh yeah, he was. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, that's a couple of references for those of you that are like me that completely forget who people are. Um, because names are hard for me.
But last thing we have in Marvel, you know, can we even get by a week without some kind of Avengers Doomsday news? I feel like we're going to have something hopefully every week up until it comes out. So we'll see. And we have no idea what's going to be true or not. So, but Avengers Doomsday will feature supposedly a new Avengers team in the X-Men universe, and there will be a new Black Panther on that team.
Ooh.
Yes, this will
Yeah.
be a variant because this is coming. This is rumor, but this is coming from My Time to Shine. Hello, and we know she's been very mixed on things right and wrong. So uh,
Yeah.
take it
That's why
as
we
you
just say
will.
rumor disclosure. Yeah.
Right,
Take
right,
everything with a grain of
exactly.
salt.
But yeah, it would be a variant. It's not going to be Shuri. It's not going to be someone else. It's not going to be the son taking over because he's still going to be fairly young, I think. But it's just going to be a different Avengers team up from the X-Men timeline, supposedly. And we're supposed to have another Iron Man in there, part of that team. Yeah, and I don't know if it's going to be Tony Stark or if I'll call him Tony Stark. If it's going to be Robert Downey Jr. Or if it's going to be Tom Cruise, because that's been a rumor forever too that Tom Cruise is going to be playing a version of Iron Man. That's been a rumor since Infinity War, I
Mm.
believe. Yeah,
Well, we'll talk about Tom Cruise here in a bit about like what we think he's been up
yeah.
to.
But
but
yeah,
yeah.
what do you think about this? Would you like to see at least a scene with another Avengers team from another universe, like some
I think that would
variants?
be awesome. No, I really would love that. I would like to see if like M'Baku became like a Black Panther, you know?
Hmm.
Um, or like I don't know. Like
Killmonger
I
becomes Black Panther in another universe.
it could be. Um, I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe like a softer side of Killmonger, I guess. I don't know.
yeah, yeah. Well,
It's like
it'd be a variant. So like maybe it'd be one
yeah,
where he went a different route and he took on the mantle. Yeah,
right, and isn't as like bloodthirsty
right,
because
right. Yeah, well,
unless that
yeah.
Avengers team is all bloodthirsty. But I don't think that Robert Downey Jr. would play another Iron Man role. I think he's done with that.
Hmm.
Um, and I think that like getting another actor to kind of like do that would be great to kind of introduce their role or
Right.
getting everybody's minds to think about somebody else being
Sure.
um like a
There's
Iron
also
Man.
the rumor. I didn't write this down, but there's a rumor that reason that we are getting Robert Downey Jr. His face, to play Doom, is that the Doom actually took on the look of Tony Stark on purpose to actually get in and get closer to building up his own team and stuff like that. He took on the identity of Tony Stark.
Hmm.
And like knowing he died and everything else, like I don't know. There's some rumor that he took on Tony Stark's identity supposedly, and that's why Robert Downey Jr. is playing Doom, because that's not actually what Doom looked like from the get go, but that's the
Yeah.
identity he's now taking on to build the team he needs to build up to take over all the multiverse.
I mean that would make sense
Or in his
if
version
the
to think he's
Fantastic
saving it.
Four thing is real because then you didn't see his face in that end credit scene or whatever. So
Oh, I didn't think about that. That's true. That's a good point. That's a really good point.
ah.
But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'm cool with seeing another variant. I think that there's gonna be a lot of death in this. Way more death we've seen in Infinity War. So I think we
Hmm.
need a lot of these variants, a whole bunch of variants on screen because we're going
Yeah.
to need to see a body count. I mean, to really make this stand out and be a bigger event than Infinity War and Endgame, we're going to need to see a bigger body count than when we've seen half of them die in Infinity War, even though they came back later. So I
Yeah.
think it makes sense to have a whole bunch of variants because there's going to be it just makes sense to me for the death
And I
reason.
mean, we do know that the multiverse is a thing now, and like Strange is
Right.
out there looking for more multiverses and doing the whole
Right.
multiverse of madness thing. Um, so yeah, I mean, it would make sense that we would get more of them, especially since we've seen What If.
Right. It's true.
Like,
And we're supposed to be getting Peggy Carter in. Like I'm ready to see uh Captain Carter, in action, live action more so than what we did in Multiverse of Madness. Not getting severed by her own shield.
but she said
Which
she could do this all
I'm a
day,
huge I'm a
even
huge
in two
Haley
parts.
Atwell fan. Yeah. Real quick, she could not do this all day, apparently.
Yee.
And she's such a badass in the What If series. Like, so I want to see that version, not the in two pieces version. But
Um, yeah, but
yeah.
that's it for like some Marvel. You ready to start talking about some DC?
Well, let's jump into it. So, James Gunn's Superman is clocking in as one of the shortest Superman films ever. And you know what? I feel like if it's done right, that's okay. I am one of
Hmm.
those people though that, if it's a great movie, I want it to keep, as we said before, I want it to be longer. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like he feels pretty confident about this. I think it's okay. What's your thoughts on this runtime?
Um, I mean, like I said, out of the three like big movies that are coming to theaters, this is on the third, on
Hmm.
my list. So I think I'm just here to watch a Superman movie, not so much as to be heavily invested in how much
Sure.
runtime we got going on is the words I'm trying to find. Um, but I mean, like, I think the other one other than this was like 90 minutes long, so this is 122 minutes.
Hmm.
You got it's fine. It's not. It's not terrible
Yeah.
runtime. 2 hours and 2 minutes
Yeah.
seems like
It's average.
yeah. And I don't feel like I would have to worry about having to go to the bathroom for it. So it's great things.
She's like, "Until you bring back the, intermissions."
Intermissions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like,
Give
"Keep it
me
at the
more
2 hours."
intermissions. God damn it.
Oh, man. I don't know. I'm super excited to see this. God, I want this to be good. I really want this to be good
I
because I
don't
don't.
know if I'm like ready to see it. I'm ready to see Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner to see
Yeah,
how
yeah.
that goes. 'Cause I love Nathan Fillion. He's like one of my like top favorite actors, right? And that's a name that I do know. Um, but yeah, I mean, like I'm interested to see how they do it and um yeah, and to see where James Gunn really takes his universe because of him canceling things and not really talking about certain other things. Like Lanterns is supposed to still be coming out and we don't have a date still yet for that.
Mhm.
Just kind of like,
Yeah.
okay.
I don't know.
But
I just
Creature
want to be
Commandos was great.
so good. So good. And, like, I don't know, I just don't. I wanna know what not to do with myself to have 2 giant fandoms that are really good going on in cinemas at all time, because that's never happened for me. So, I think that would
I mean,
be.
shoot, if Star Wars comes back, we'll have three.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. And I don't know, after Andor season 2, if they can just bring to the cinemas how good they did on that series, I think it could be heading in the right direction. And then we know Sean Levy, not trying to get in Star Wars, but we know Sean Levy being, part of the next one of these other projects. That's a good sign because this guy does great work as well. So,
Yeah.
I don't know, we'll see. But, Superman's doing reshoots already. So, what went down in the test screenings? Because this didn't happen until after test screenings,
Mm-hmm.
which we know reshoots are typically a normal part nowadays of every movie that's done. But for
Yeah.
these to happen right after the test screenings, because they do kind of do the test screenings to get the feel of what people have, and maybe we should change and
Yeah.
shift little things. Interesting to see. Do you know of any like speculation or like any hearsay things that came out
So
like people didn't like about it?
yeah. So they said that they wanted to make it less corny and like more serious, apparently. Was
Okay.
one of the things I really remember from it. There was two other things that people had said about the test screenings, but I can't remember what they are off the top of my head
Uh huh.
because I didn't write them down. But yeah, I wonder like what that really means of like how what do you mean like less corny? Like because when I think of Nathan Fillion, I always think of him as like a
Right.
giggle man, right? Like I mean, he's had serious roles, but like as of recently, as Cade Six in Destiny, and even his role in Guardians of the Galaxy, like it
Yeah.
was all just like kind of like jokey, right?
Yeah.
Um, so like, and seeing him as Guy Gardner, like I laugh every time I see his bowler haircut. So I think that he would probably say something funny about that. So maybe fans thought that it was too like gimmicky, like too many dad jokes, maybe.
Yeah.
And they wanted it to be more serious because it's a Superman movie and it's supposed to be serious. So I don't know.
Well, yeah, so that you saying all that makes me think that because like I feel like James Gunn does a really good blend of keeping things serious but keeping a funny tone like Guardians of the Galaxy. And then when I
Hmm.
hear too corny, I think maybe he went over a little too much and made it feel more like a Taika Waititi Thor: Love and Thunder because that's too corny to me. And if that's the case, that scares the shit out of me. Uh, because Guardians was such a great balance, but then Thor: Love and Thunder was super too corny and cheesy, and that's the last thing I want the Superman to be. Like I would love to see though. I don't want to be the dark, brooding, serious like Snyder first. I would love to see
Yeah.
uh, a Guardians of the Galaxy feel to it, which I it's what I kind of naturally expect it to have a slight feel to with the
Hmm.
comedy. Hmm, interesting. I guess time will
Yeah.
tell. Only time will tell.
I guess so. I mean, July 11th really ain't that far away, so we'll find out here soon.
Right. So we got some Superman Funko Pops that have leaked out, or have they leaked out, or have they are they out for purchase already? Do you know?
I think they're pre-order right
I think
now.
you're right. Yeah, I think the pre-order. But yeah, one is a big hammer Baravia, and then the other one is Ultraman. So those look pretty sick.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
and we got to see him.
And
Go ahead.
sorry. So, it kind of like people were a little bit upset about this Funko Pop thing, and they kind of do it also with like Marvel,
Hmm.
as well when they release things because they're like, dude, that's like a spoiler. I don't
I think
know. Like,
he's
I
in, he's
like
in the trailer though that we have. So
the Hammer of
mhm.
and Ultraman.
Yeah, so Ultraman is seen in the pictures and still shots have been released. He's the one's got Superman handcuffed and they're walking him out because that's who is rumored to be actually someone else underneath there. But
Yeah.
then also the hammer, we actually get a fight scene when we see Superman saying, "Hey, eyes up here," and then he literally sees the laser. He's coming out of that person. That's actually the hammer that we see in armor shooting a laser out of his helmet to
Mm.
at Superman fighting. So
Okay, but if we've seen like, if I'm thinking correctly, the Ultraman that we saw, we haven't seen like the actual like frontal, maybe? I don't know.
We have. Yeah, we've seen so he's not been
Then
in a
I don't know.
he's not been in a trailer. Ultraman's not been in a trailer, but we
Mm,
have had official photography of his full body walking Superman in cuffs with Frank Grillo.
mm.
But
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know
I'll let
why people are like upset
I don't
and
either.
why this is like labeled as a spoiler. So I don't know.
People love to get salty about anything nowadays. So
Yeah, that's what the
uh
internet apparently is for.
but something we've talked about and I'm excited about is Constantine 2. But Constantine 2 now has delays. Turns out Keanu Reeves is not vibing with the current script. So,
Mm.
yeah. So
Well, if he doesn't like it, you know.
I have to say, like, maybe they should probably listen to him
Yeah.
because this guy's got a pretty good head on his shoulders when it comes to cinema. I think what I read was he is really wanting this, even the second one, to really be more of a human and demons type thing, like really focus on, I guess, something to do with human and demons, like they did in the
Mhm.
first one. And I think they are trying to take it into I don't know, a different direction, or maybe it's mainly in a different realm where it's not so much humans, it's mainly just like a demon realm. But he's wanting that
Mhm.
good balance of the human demon storytelling. And I
Yeah.
guess he read the script and was like, I ain't feeling this. So I guess when your name as big as Keanu and as successful as you have, I think they're going to do some. They're doing some rewrites or rewriting some
Yeah,
stuff.
and I mean, like, I feel like he is such a great guy that he didn't just say like, "This is fucking stupid." Like, I think
No,
that he probably
no,
gave
yeah,
some like pointers and actually like, because I think that he has read the comics, if I
yeah.
remember correctly.
He's a big fan of. He's
Um,
been wanting this for a long time. He's a big fan of Constantine.
yeah. So I feel like he would actually give pointers to the writers and be like, okay, well, this is what happens in the comics and this is how I kind of want to take it.
Right.
Um, so I mean, I'm happy that he isn't just being like, I am just here to make movies.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. He's not pulling an
because,
Edward Norton, with the Hulk thing. I'm just going to be a dick and tell you I don't like this and rewrite it my way because I want to be in control. I like Edward Norton,
yeah,
but I'm saying I feel like that
mm,
was shitty of him to do. And like obviously I don't know Keanu personally, but so many different stories I've heard, like even off screen, like he's
mhm,
such a good guy. Like
yeah,
he's a great human being. So I agree
mm,
with you. I don't see him being just the way he is, for no reason or being abrupt about it.
yeah. Mm, I don't know.
I don't. But this is a little bittersweet news. But I found this article and I had to bring it in here for me and you because I have strong ties to Clayface. You have strong ties to Mike Flanagan. And if I get an
Yeah, and
option to bring them
we
both on the
had,
screen, yeah.
yeah, I mean, but we had announced, like a
No,
couple
yeah,
of
yeah.
weeks ago
But
that like he was out and it
right.
still made me upset. And I was like, why?
Yeah. So we've already announced that he's out, right? So, but then he just recently said this about this. Uh, so he's out on Clayface, but he was saying that he's no even though I'm no longer part of Clayface, he said, "I'm gonna let you know I did have a complete script written for this already, and it was
Mm,
heavily inspired from the two-part episode from the '90s Batman animated series, which is why we got to see that visual of the Clayface I love from the '90s series on the
yeah,
screen." And he's like, "It was complete." He's like, "But now my story that I wrote is in hands of other people, other writers." He's like, and it's almost guaranteed that they're going to change a lot of it to put their own spin on it because most people want to say, "Hey, I did this." And he's like, "But we'll see, how much of it's still in there once it releases and how it comes out." He's like, "Because my hands are washed clean and free of it." But here's the thing: we
yeah.
know Mike Flanagan's great. We know the '90s Batman animated series is one of the most loved series of all times, and that's the best Clayface. So make a little tweaks to it, please. Just make a little tweaks just so you can put your own taste on it. But let's keep
Yeah.
90% of this guy's story because we know
I
the
want to
epic.
know why they turned his script down. Like, because like as the photo that we just showed, like,
Hmm.
and you're talking about at CinemaCon they had shown the photo and like it looks great.
Did they
And
turn
if
it
you
down
like
or did he
use
step
his script,
away?
I think they turned it down. Like they
Oh,
wanted him to make changes to it and he said no.
well, kudos to him then.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, he stepped away because they wanted to make changes to his script, and he's like, absolutely not,
Wow.
which is great because like his
Yeah.
storytelling is always been
Right.
amazing. Um, yeah,
Mm,
yeah.
that bothers me. That bothers me even more now. I thought it
I'm
was one of those
sorry.
deals where he stepped away or we didn't have an explanation, but to know it
Nope.
was heavily inspired
Yeah.
by the '90s series and they turned it
Well,
down.
now we have more of a background. I mean, like I just know that, or when he had stepped away, he had said it was just because of like creative differences and like
Right.
he had given them a script and they weren't happy with it, so he stepped away. But now to
Dang.
know like more of what he
Right.
had to offer, like it's even
I was
more.
I will say this though. I think last time we talked about this, we seen that even though he got gone away, pushed off of it. uh it only pushed the date back 3 months though. So that being said, I wonder if they're still not going to use a lot of the foundation of his story and just tweak it to some things that they wanted to tweak that he wasn't willing to budge on.
Did they push it
Because
back? I don't think they pushed it
they only
back.
pushed it back 3 months only 3 months. So it made me think that it was like a month or 3 months. It was like almost little no time.
Yeah.
So
I don't remember them pushing it back, so that's why I'm like,
mm,
I don't know.
I could be wrong, but I think it was like only 1 or 3 months, which was shocking.
Mm.
Or maybe they didn't, and that was even more shocking. Uh,
Yeah, and that's
so
that's the piece that I was like, it's
yeah,
still supposed to release when it's supposed to release. They're supposed to start
okay, maybe
taping it
that's
in
what it was then.
October,
Yeah,
and I'm like,
or
dude, it's coming out in
maybe the
September of
release
next
date
year.
is the same, but it pushed back
Yeah.
the filming date by a month, only like a month or something.
Yes.
I think
Yes,
that's what it
that.
was. Yeah,
Yes.
so that makes me think they're still going to use a lot of the bones, the structure of his story, though. So we'll see. I guess time will only tell. Because I'm sure, like once it comes out,
Yeah.
I guarantee you he'll speak out on it. Like he'll like in a graceful manner because he's a good
Yeah.
guy. But like I'm anxious to find out and hear. But no Star Wars news this week. So you want to jump into some educated wish?
Let's do.
Being the fan you are, I'll let you proceed.
All right, so we've been talking about this HBO, like Harry Potter, time and time again, right? And people have mixed feelings about it. But they just came out this week that they cast Ron, Harry, and Hermione, so the big three kids, right? We know it's supposed to come out in 2026, and it's just amazing. I think that I'm really excited to see what they do with this, especially because Ron and Harry both pretty much don't have any acting like underneath their belt. Now, like
Really?
obviously the UK had like thousands and thousands of people that volunteered and tried out for this, like 30,000 I think they had said, but they
Hmm.
chose these two because of how they were able to actually play the role and really impersonate it. But Hermione Granger the actress is Arabella Stanton, and she actually has a lot of stage work
Hmm.
like underneath her belt. And she's like the main person in these like plays. So like the one that I wrote down was like she actually was Matilda in like a Matilda play.
Oh, okay.
Which I mean like is pretty, you know, big.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah.
uh, but the thing is also with this is that like they are super young. Which is great
Yeah.
because like I think like it's supposed to be on your birthday, on your 10th or 11th birthday, I think is when you get picked up for Hogwarts. I can't remember exactly, and I'm so
Oh.
sorry for everybody. Um, but the fact that like Hermione Granger and Ron in real life, they are 11 years old. And then the kid that's playing Harry Potter, his name's Dominic. He's 12. So
Okay.
the fact that they actually chose kids again, and if we're actually getting the series the way that it should be, that we kind of like
Mm.
grow up with them. I'm excited to see really how this comes out and um, how they are good at portraying. Because the article that I read is that all three like did really well with their little like ways that they're supposed to portray the actor,
Mhm.
um, or the way that they're supposed to portray the character.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah.
And so
What's cool too,
I
like, you
think
see a lot
it's
of
really interesting.
it's funny, like you were saying, them being the actual ages, right? Like, almost exact ages that the characters need to be. I like
Hmm.
that because I think you'll get more of an authentic feel of them being
Hmm.
that age instead
Yeah.
of where you see so many people cast older people to play younger, and then it's like
You mean
I
like Toby
Grease,
Maguire wasn't in high school? Oh,
right,
yeah,
or
Grease.
yeah, 40-year-old high schoolers in that. Or, yeah, like you're saying, Toby Maguire too, a 30-year-old playing a what, 17-year-old or 16-year-old? But,
Oh, dude, I don't
no.
even, yeah.
I like this, because you have kids who start acting at a young age that are
Hmm.
some talented individuals. So yeah, that's interesting, and I'm happy to see it being the proper age matchup. It'll
Yeah,
feel
and
more
I'm
authentic.
also happy that they, even though like the two of the three main like of the trio, right? They
Mm,
chose two of the kids that even though they haven't had any really acting experience, they really fit the role as well
mhm,
as they needed the role to be fit. So even though they didn't have any acting experience, they were like, we're gonna give them a chance. And I love that. I really
yeah.
do love that because like it still gives you hope as to uh people can still make it, you know.
Oh, yeah,
And it being an HBO series, it's gonna be like a very wide known series.
for sure. So, Tom Cruise wants to return as Les Grossman, and yes, he still wants fat hands and to dance.
Yeah. I I was so excited to hear about this. So apparently while he was on the Mission Impossible 8 set that just came out, right? Um, him and the filmmaker were actually just like riffing during their like times off of actually shooting of just like him being in Les Grossman's character. And they were just like we had an absolute blast, and we were like we are now having actual serious conversations of like what this would look like.
Mhm,
um and I don't know if you have seen um because I mean, we've all seen him in Tropic Thunder and
yeah.
how he's actually like played that role, but what we haven't, what most of us haven't seen is like his actual screening of playing this role. Amazing. He just starts like just dancing, and that was like his like audition tape was just him in the costume. They had done like some trial makeup on him, and then he just started dancing. Um, and it was great.
If we can get
Because
anything
he
close to
was
more comedy like Tropic Thunder, I'm here for it.
I don't and that was my shocker is because I thought that in today's world that Tropic Thunder really wouldn't be
Yeah.
able
Yeah,
to
well, yeah,
do
that's
the
true.
things
Well,
that
some of
it
it. Yeah,
did.
yeah. Yeah, and I wasn't meaning all aspects, but it's a
Yeah.
funny-ass
Yeah.
movie. It's so
Oh
funny.
no,
It's like The
okay.
Office. Like, if The Office had the jokes it had back then today, it would get canceled, I feel like.
I don't know. I feel like The Office isn't as bad, but the but Tropic Thunder had some really questionable
Yeah,
things that they did. But dude, to this day, still love that movie. I will watch it at least twice a year, at least.
yeah. I
Um,
watched it 2 weeks ago.
I'm pretty sure I watched it a month ago. Like
Yeah,
I'm
well,
not even
that's what
joking.
literally you like me and AD's watching Tropic Thunder, I think one day when we were talking,
Oh my
and
God, yeah.
literally, like, a week later, it came across my screen, I'm like, "Yes."
Yeah, cause like we were just sitting there and we were just like, we're just chilling and you always have like you and your significant other are just like sitting on the couch together and you're just like, man, what do you want to watch? I don't know. What do you want to watch? I don't know. And I just started scrolling through one of the streaming services and Tropic Thunder popped up and I was like, yeah. So I started playing it and he's like, why are you playing this one? I have the extended version. I bought that. And I was like, there's an extended version?
I
So
didn't
then
know
that was
this.
the first time that I had seen the extended version. I'm gonna have to now show like the next time you come to Vegas,
Yes.
we're gonna smoke some hookah and we're gonna watch Tropic Thunder, the extended version, and you're gonna see and actually realize because I also was able to realize the parts that they had added in or I
Mhm.
guess cut out from
Right.
the actual film. And it's worth it. It's worth it if you can get your hands on the extended version to watch it because
Nice.
it's pretty great.
So
Um,
oh, sorry.
no, go for it, go for it.
I was just say Sinners will be out for purchase. Will this be, like, digital only, or this be Blu-ray, digital, and everything? June 3rd?
Yeah, yeah. So it's a Blu-ray digital. As far as I know right now, like I'm pretty sure it's Blu-ray as well because that would be
Mhm.
weird if it wasn't, but I know at least it is 100% digital. It's not out on
Nice.
streaming,
Right.
um, but it is available for purchase and it might be one of those ones that I have to purchase. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
I love it.
Because I still need to see it.
Oh
Um,
my god, that's
and
right. I forgot you haven't
every
seen it.
time, yeah, every time that I went and made plans for it, like things have just come up.
Right.
Dude, guys, like buying a house is so much work. Um, and it's not even like a humble brag or anything. I'm literally telling you, it's just so much work. It's things that you never thought that you would really have to come across. And then the whole like because our original stuff was in Arizona and then it was coming to Las Vegas, so then we were packing stuff in order to just have the most minimal amount of stuff that we could be here, cook,
Right.
uh, and eat and do laundry and like have a bed to sleep on and have the linens and pillows and just like the things that you never think like you're like, yeah, I use these every
Yeah.
day. And of course, because they're here every day, but you don't think about the fact that you need to bring them.
Or expect
And so
movers to
like
be a whole day late.
honestly, low key, I was super glad that they were late because that was the day that we had the Nicole Sullivan interview that we're releasing on Tuesday. So I didn't have
Yeah.
to worry about them bringing everything in while I'm trying to have an
Being
interview.
noisy.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, Tudum happened. And it's actually still available for anybody that missed the live stream. It is still out on Netflix for you to actually watch it. I think it's about 2 hours, just a little under, like 4 minutes under 2 hours.
Hmm.
But it had really great things happen in it. But one of the things that happened is the Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein trailer. It dropped and it is already haunting in the best way. Like
Yes.
the way that I mean really like Oscar Isaac
I love this
uh
man.
he is playing the shit out of that role. Like he is in it and he is just right there.
Mhm.
Ah, God, the trailer
Yeah.
is really great. It comes out in November and I'm just like, let's
The
go.
Frankenstein monster looks pretty wicked too.
Yeah.
Oh, man,
Yeah.
like, we get to see him on, that ship fighting
Oh,
people, and,
oh,
like, he
oh.
yells Victor or Donnie or something like that.
Yeah, I
Uh,
I can't I can't remember what he had yelled, but like as soon as they
Doctor
had
or
the
Victor.
Frankenstein,
Yeah.
yeah, as soon as they had the Frankenstein logo pop up, which is like super calligraphic, I
Yeah.
guess is a word that I'm going to use today. and then it went to black, and I thought it was the end of the trailer, and then you got to hear the Frankenstein's monster roar, and I
Yes.
was like,
It it
"Oh,
it 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 looks so good. It looks so intense. It seems so dark,
intense."
but
Yeah.
then, like, the Frankenstein monster, I'm super anxious to, like, see all of this on screen because this seems like probably one of the best Frankenstein monsters we might have seen on screen to date. I'm talking about
Yeah.
just as in, like, terrifying.
Mhm. Yeah, so I'm excited for the Frankenstein, like, movies because we
Mhm.
have this one that's coming out just onto, like, Netflix,
Right.
in November, but then we also have The Bride of
That's right.
Frankenstein, with Christian Bale playing Frankenstein's
And
monster,
Maggie
and
Gyllenhaal.
I think so. I
Mhm.
think that's who that is, yeah,
I
as the
I think it's
bride.
called just The Bride, isn't that the
Yeah.
title of it? Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, and I mean that's been looking great. I mean we've only seen the photo from the
Oh, yeah.
CinemaCon, I think is when it came out,
Yep.
but um
All
gosh,
tatted
it
up.
looked great. Yeah. Yeah.
See, so Final Destination Bloodlines just became the highest grossing entry in the franchise. Death clearly sells. I mean, like when I talked about it, I said it's what you expect, bad acting, cheesy lines, but some gruesome deaths. Them gruesome
Yeah.
deaths will put ass in seats every time. Like you don't have to have great actors, you don't have to have
Yeah.
a perfect script. Just have some
Mhm.
gruesome deaths. People will pay to see it. I do.
You want to know what I did over the weekend?
What's that?
I watched all 5.
Did you really? Nice.
Yeah.
Dang.
Um
How did you have
so
time to
like
do that?
uh, there were many nights that I just didn't really sleep. So on Thursday, I think it was Thursday night, that we decided to watch it, or maybe it'd been Friday night. Um, I think it was Thursday night. So Thursday we were supposed to have the movers come, and because
Mhm.
I never went to work, like because I was supposed to have movers here, um, we like sat down and AD just put on the second one, and I was just like, oh, the log trucks. But I
Mhm.
had watched the first one with Kristen
Mm.
last Monday or something like that, or
Mhm.
when I had moved into the house that Monday, um, that I watched it, and I started watching the second one, but then fell asleep because that was right after EDC. Um, so I never re-hacked that, and then AD just put on the second one randomly, and I looked up from my phone because I was playing games on my phone because that's what I do. Um, and I was like, oh my God, we're watching Final Destination? And he's like, yeah, this is the second one. And I was like, this is perfect because this is where I left off. So then we started making bets on what the next one was, like the main, the main death like scene. So like the
Mhm.
second one was all about the highway and that death scene. I think the third one was the circus. The fourth one was um the NASCAR.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And then the fifth one, which was actually a prequel, and you didn't realize that until the end of it. I can't remember what their big scene of like how they. I don't know. The fifth one's always the one that I forget because I remember it at the end because they made a joke about it being 3D in the movie, and that was the first one that had been a 3D movie.
Mhm.
Um, but they watched a movie in it, and that's when the movie theater blew up. But that wasn't until the end of 5, so I can't. I always forget. No, oh
I never did
no, I
rewatch
don't
them
know.
before I went and seen this, so, like, they're still a little hazy to me, most of them.
See,
Yeah.
it's always 4 and 5 that are the ones that are
Mhm.
hazy for me. But that log truck one, I will is
Oh, yeah.
ingrained in my
That's always
brain.
that's vividly clear.
Yeah, the first one was the plane. Everyone remembers the
Mhm.
plane.
That and
And then
the
the
death
second
to
one.
me, another one that's very vivid is where the sheet of glass falls, and yeah,
Yes,
that
and
that's
because of
very vivid.
the kid running through the pigeons, and
Mhm.
it collapsed on him because he had just been at the dentist,
Yep, yep.
and he was like choking because there was a blowfish that fell into his mouth. Like I'm telling you, I literally just watched these, and I can't even remember. I think was that is that 3? That would have
I
been
think I
2.
I can't remember. I think it
It
might
was
be
2.
2.
It was
Yeah, it's
2
2. Yeah.
because it was after the highway scene because it had that cop in it, and I remember
Yep.
that cop running around with that girl. Yes, it was 2. Number 3 is the one with the circus and then the tanning bed. Yeah.
Oh, yep. Yep, yep, yep.
See?
And like a
See?
broomstick or something falls and like prevents it from getting up. It like locks it.
The thing on top. It's a shelf that had all the CDs on it
Oh, okay, get you. Yep.
because she had forgotten her iPod, so then they went to go grab the CDs to put
Mhm.
it in the thing to listen to music while they were um on the in the tanning beds, and they were listening to the roller coaster song
Mhm.
and tapping their feet and like really getting into it, and then they're like, oh, it's getting hot, and then that's when like everything fell because like when she leaned up on it, like
Yeah.
she kind of like tore down the
Yeah,
shelf
fried.
anyway.
Fried.
There is your chronologically uh Final Destination movies, except for the last one because I can never
So
ever
you still
remember.
don't see Bloodlines though.
No.
That's what I'm saying. You still need to see it.
Oh. Oh. No, I'm waiting for that to come to streaming. I'm not.
Oh no, no, it's
Uh-uh.
definitely one to wait for streaming. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But as soon as it comes to streaming, absolutely, I'm gonna watch it because I am a Final Destination fan, so I will be watching it. Yeah, God,
So
I can't remember, and they all kind of like blend together.
mhm.
Like I don't remember.
Mhm.
But
So
so the next thing that's on our list to talk about is Elio. It
yep,
had its final trailer, and it looks actually pretty sweet. Like it looks really
it
nice.
does.
It looks very colorful. The same thing that I've been saying. Like this is definitely one that also I'm gonna wait for it to come out onto like streaming somewhere before I watch
Mhm.
it, just because it is a kids movie. Not that kids movies aren't my thing, because I do love Inside Out, and Megamind is something that I watch once a year as well. Uh, but I don't know if this is going to be like one of those once a year kind of things. I think it's just going to be a one and done kind of thing.
Right.
Um, and that's just kind of like I got enough things that are on my plate. And June 20th, when this comes out, it's
It's
not going to
like
be one of the things I'm
yeah,
like I have to go
right.
see this in
Yeah.
theaters. Like,
It'll be a
uh,
streaming one for me too, but I think visually it's appealing. It
mhm,
seems super cute, but like visually,
mhm.
I love the looks of it.
Oh
It's
yeah,
I'll
it's
definitely see it.
very colorful. Yeah, and
Mhm.
I mean, like as you can see in the photo that you pulled up, he's wearing like these blue robes or whatever, and he's got like a little pirate eye
Yeah.
thing. And it's all set in like outer space,
Right.
because says that he's like the ruler of Earth or whatever, and they
Yeah.
like kidnap him and take him for like a grand questioning trial. I don't know.
It looks like it'd be fun
But
though.
yeah, oh yeah, it looks like it's going to be funny, and it looks like it's going to be something that is interesting. This came out. First started hearing about it during D23
Mhm.
last year, so I want to say that it's going to be a Disney Pixar
Mhm.
movie, which
Yeah.
means that it'll come out on Disney Plus eventually, and that's when I'll see it. So the next thing that's on the list is the set construction for Crystal Lake is finally underway, and a Friday, like the Friday the 13th, is just finally rising from the grave, and it's it's a prequel. It's something that they've been talking about since I think 2021, I want to say. Um, but like looks it looks good. It's supposed to be rumored to come out this year in October. And
I hope it's good.
yeah, I mean, like I'm excited. I'm excited that we're getting Jason's mom and kind of like the background really about that.
Mhm.
Um, but I don't know. It's coming out on Peacock, so it's gonna be a Peacock TV series. So I have Peacock, so who knows?
Yeah.
I'm probably
I'm glad
gonna
you
like give it like attention or whatever.
I'm glad you just mentioned Peacock. I forgot. So there's also the new season of Poker Face out with
Mhm.
what's her face? Yeah,
Natasha.
Natasha Leone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
I really loved the first season, and I forgot all about that till just now. So I'm almost sure that's what I'm gonna be watching tonight.
I never watched the first season,
It's good.
so
You should see it.
I don't. Yeah, I don't really know anything about it, but I think AD had said that he had watched it and it was good, and he's like, oh, there's a second season. He also didn't know that there was a another Simple Favor that is now also streaming somewhere, I think.
I could be,
Um,
I say I could be wrong, but I think, and I may be wrong because I know it's a casino, but I think it actually it takes place starting in Vegas. The movie does Poker Face,
oh,
almost
well, I mean that
100%.
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, but then like it ends up being a cross country show is what it is, and it's a
Okay.
story for every stop she makes, and like it's hilarious, but it's good. Like it's really
Yeah.
good. You should watch it.
Well, I love Natasha Lyonne. First time I
Yeah,
saw her was in Orange is the New Black. Loved her
yeah.
in that. And then she was in What If,
Hmm.
um
Birdie.
yeah. I think that she played that role. So
Oh yeah,
I'm happy.
and she's supposed to be in Fantastic Four: New Steps. So
Oh yeah.
so
Forgot
we'll
about that.
we'll see. Let's see. Stranger Things 5 will drop in 3 parts. Part of the Tudum thing you were talking about. I always feel like, should I say Tudum or should I say Tudum? I just don't know which one.
No,
But
second. Definitely the
yeah,
latter.
okay. But yeah, we got our first teaser. It starts off first with a whole bunch of old scenes from every other season as we're kind of like talking through the stories that we've already seen. And then
Hmm.
we get some pretty intense scenes of new stuff toward the end of it. But we are getting volume one November 26th. A month later, getting volume two December 25th on Christmas Day. And then the final volume three on New Year's Eve, December
Hmm.
31st. And that is it. We are done.
Yeah.
So I am super ready for this. Super, super ready for this. Uh, I'm like,
I'm excited for it to be over, honestly.
yeah,
Like I've enjoyed it, yes. But it's also kind of gonna be like you season
okay,
5, I think.
right,
It's just like, all right, it's over. It's the end. I'm watching it because I watched all the other seasons.
sure.
Um,
It
and I
definitely
mean, like
needs
I
to end.
really, well, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I say it definitely does need to end. Like it's
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and that's exactly how I feel about it. Like it's not that it's been a bad show or anything. It's just
right.
something that I'm like, okay, cool. So finish this, start something else, continue with something else, and just
Yeah.
just go from
Well,
there.
I think what really gave us like I think regardless of how long it's taken for seasons to come out, I think a 5 season cap is really good. I think that's where it should
Yeah.
stop anyways. But I think
Hmm.
we would have less of a feeling of that if they wouldn't have such large gaps in between the seasons, especially toward the latter, because it's been what 2 years since we had the last season. I think it's been
Um, yeah, I think so because I think the last one came out in 2023.
Yeah, it's been 2 years, and it's like, man, these kids, they're at the ages where every year you see huge growth spurts in them, and so, like, it's gonna get harder and
Hmm.
harder to tell these stories and stay along with the timeline as well. So,
Yeah, I think also that the story does need to just end. Now if they
yeah,
want to do kind of like an It Welcome to Derry kind of like
yeah,
prequel kind of thing, um, I'd be also interested in that. But uh, as for it being season 5, I'm ready for it to just
yeah, be
be
done.
done.
Yeah,
I've enjoyed it, but it's time for it to end. And I'm really looking forward. What I'm really looking forward to in season 5 is the music that we're gonna get out of it.
oh, yeah,
Um, just
oh, yeah.
because like in the last season we had the Running Up the Hill
Kate
Laura
Bush,
Hill song or Kate Bush, thank you.
yeah,
Um, and then I had never heard that song before, honestly, and it is something that I really did enjoy. Like that's a new song that I have on my playlist that when I'm
same,
listening to my downloaded music, it'll just
yes.
randomly play because it's a great song.
Oh, it's so
Um,
catchy too.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. But something else that came out of Tudum is the Happy Gilmore 2. We got a trailer for that. And it Adam Sandler, you get to see him in it. Ben Stiller, you get to see him too. And I mean like a couple of the guys that were in the first one. I like that they're bringing in like the new kids or whatever, like
Mhm.
their kids. Um, and you got to see the beat up car and them trying to start it and them like banging on it to like try to get it started. But I think I'm excited to see this because it's only going to be on Netflix. It's July
Mhm.
25th, so it is the same day as Fantastic Four
Yep.
comes out. So I'm really glad. Like I know that Adam Sandler did want it to come out into theaters, but I think that if it came out at the same time as Fantastic Four, it would have been really disheartening and not
Yeah.
really
Right.
like and AD and I were talking about this the other day, is that like sometimes there are just like those movies that you remember and have like and are just like, why didn't this do so well? Like Treasure Planet. I don't know if you ever remember Treasure
Yes. I
Planet,
love Treasure
but that
Planet.
came out at the same time as Shrek.
Mhm.
So like,
Right.
like you had to, or maybe it was Atlantis that came out at the same time as Shrek, and that one had something else.
Atlantis is
But
even better than Treasure Planet.
I can't relate them. They're just so both so good.
They are. They are. It's
Um,
true.
yeah,
Milo.
but I mean,
Yeah.
I think that I think that if Happy Gilmore 2 were to come out into theaters, it would have gotten overshown,
Yeah. I think you're right.
regardless of how good it is or how bad it is,
Yeah.
by Fantastic Four. So I'm
And
happy that it is on Netflix and that I will have something else to also watch that weekend, so we can talk about it.
yeah, and like not just Fantastic Four, but all the movies that are coming out in July, we know they're all going to be in circulation still in theater. So like
Mm,
you are 100% right on that. Um,
yeah, because you have uh, Jurassic World at the beginning of July, like in the first weekend, and then you
right.
have
Superman.
Superman July 11th, and then you have Fantastic Four July 25th.
Yeah.
So
And
it's
that's
just
just
like,
the big 3, and that's not including
yeah,
anything else that's gonna be in circulation still in theaters, so, yeah.
correct.
No, I
Yeah,
think this is a smart move. I am a so, like, I'm hit and miss with Adam Sandler, but I am super excited to see this one. Like, I
yeah,
love Happy Gilmore. That was one of my go-tos of his, is that and
yeah.
Billy Madison, so
I I don't know if I've actually ever seen Billy Madison.
oh my god. You have not lived life until you've seen Billy Madison. Plus, you have Chris
First of
Farley
all,
in it.
I have,
Yeah.
but uh, yeah, I mean, I think Adam Sandler, just like Will Ferrell for me, is hit and miss.
Yeah.
But I don't know. All right,
So,
maybe, maybe.
some more news we got over the week was Dexter Resurrection. Got a trailer finally dropped, and Statcast. This comes out July 11th. Killer is back, and this first trailer is amazing. A completely different take than I expected to get out of this trailer. From what Dexter always has been, but you get
Mhm.
Peter Dinklage, Uma Thurman. Um, oh my gosh, Dalmatian is in it. I can't think of his name. Polka Dot Man. He is in it. He's also in Ant Man. He's in the Ant Man movies. David
I'm.
Dalmatian, I think, is his name, and
I don't know. Yeah.
Statcast, and apparently they're in New York, and Peter Dinklage has a fascination with serial killers, and he brings all these serial killers under one roof. But it's phenomenal. I'm so ready for this. It has Dexter's son in it. I see people, I see people online saying, "Oh, this got me really hyped until I seen the scene with Dexter's son." And I'm like, "Why is this guy such a buzzkill?"
Oh.
Well, like out of all the Dexter things, his son probably like from the last series, that came out, or not the last series because the last one was prequel, but First Blood.
Mm,
It's probably the least like out of everything. A lot of people wasn't as crazy about him, but I think this
yeah.
is going to be great. I did not realize, and maybe I think we've reported almost all these cast people being in it, but I guess it kind of slightly
I
slipped
think
my
we've.
mind.
No, I think what we were doing is we were really talking about shoot, what was that prequel's name?
Uh,
Newborn
Original
New
Sin,
Blood?
Original Sin.
Oh, was it Original Sin? Okay, yeah. So I think that we were really talking about that stack cast, and then
Yeah,
we never actually talked about the
maybe
cast that was for
because
this. I think because
this is stacked.
honestly, I didn't look at the trailer. I completely forgot to look at the trailer.
Gotcha.
So like when you had said that Peter Dinklage and Uma Thurman were in it, I was like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah, yeah. I mean, when and it showed David Dalmatian, I was like, oh, and like all of them are serial killers. Like Uma Thurman, like yeah. I'm telling you, like watch this trailer when we get done here. Like it's very
Oh,
intriguing, and
yeah.
not the cast I thought we was going to see, which you get some of the old cast back, which is great too. But then like the direction of the story is like, okay, this is not what I expected, but I am still super excited for this. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's that's also in July. So
Yeah, that's July 11th, the same day as
right,
Superman.
yeah, so much in July. Oh
Yeah,
man.
July is stacked and I am sweating.
Hmm. But
Um,
yeah, and another thing I'm super, super excited about, I actually love this series, is Gen V Season 2 is bringing the blood, and the trailer promises absolute chaos. This
oh
looks
yeah.
so good. Like, I enjoyed the first season, but this
Mhm.
one looks 1,000 times even better than the first season. It,
Yeah.
it looks wild. The boys, I hope they keep doing spinoffs. I hope they keep doing stuff to where you don't get tired of it. I love this universe. Absolutely love this universe.
Mhm.
So, did you see the trailer for this one?
I did.
Woo.
So I was like super afraid of this season just because that kid had actually died in real life.
Mhm.
So I wanted to see kind of like how they were going to take it. And when you're watching the trailer, like you literally see his dad saying like, "What happened to my son?" because he's dead. He's actually dead in the show.
Right.
So I'm excited to see what they do with that.
Yeah.
I did see it. It does look good. I am super excited for it. September 17th, which means it's not in July, which is good. It gives me a breather to get back into it.
Yeah, and, like, I know I used this word a while ago for the Frankenstein, but, again, this it seems super intense, which the boys, stuff typically is, but
Yeah.
this one looks like it blows season 1 out of the water. That just the trailer.
I I was excited because I was like watching it and it's like it is serious, it is intense. But then you have the scene where like they're at the party playing
Yeah,
beer pong, and then the girl that like can go big or super small, they made
yeah,
her into like a ping pong and they were like
yeah.
throwing her into the cups. I was like, dude, that is hilarious.
Yeah,
Um, that just it seems super hilarious to me. So I'm glad that they still have that sense of humor, even though it is like intense, just like The Boys usually is.
right, right. Yeah, and that's always a good blend too, like, you get your intense that's a super great blend. Um But this is something I just had to throw on there. I thought this was great. You have to have respect for this guy in some fashion or form. But Clint
Hmm.
Eastwood is 95 years old and is directing another film. And he
Ooh.
also went through a little shade at some Hollywood remakes. He said literally, he's like, you know what, for all you people out here doing giant franchises or, doing remakes, he's like, do something new or just stay at home. He's like, here I am at
He
95
said
doing something new.
another one.
Yeah, I was like, "Damn." I was like, "Damn." But
uh,
95 years old and doing a new movie, like, kudos to this guy, like, that is
hmm.
wild.
Yeah. It's absolutely great that, you know, he is getting back out there and doing things. And I enjoy his movies. I can't think of a name of one off the top of my
Yeah.
head right now. Um, but like
Gran
I
Torino was a good one that he did.
never seen it. But that is something that I did say is that like when we were watching D23 and we were coming out with all the news, I was like, dude,
Mhm.
more than half of this is just sequels. Incredibles 3, Frozen 3 and 4.
Yeah,
And you just do see a lot of um sequels, and I get it that like some of them do deserve sequels. But I also do like having original things come out and being like, huh, that's interesting. Never would
right.
have looked at it that way, never would have saw it that way, or never thought that this could be done. Like I'm sure that Sinners, which isn't a sequel, is one of those, you know.
Sure. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, he
yeah,
was
so
also
I
known
mean,
for a lot of his, like, westerns in his younger days too. That was another
yeah,
thing. He was
and that like I know about that. And that's probably where I've seen a majority of probably his films or something because my
yeah.
grandfather super into westerns
My
and
grandma was in love with Clint Eastwood.
yeah, I like I've seen his face like in an actual
Mhm.
movie, so I don't know.
Oh,
I
he
can't
also was,
remember.
big for, in his younger days, he was a cop, and he had an orangutan with him. They rode around in a cop car, I can't remember the name of it, but
Like
yeah,
in real life? Oh.
no, in a movie. It's a movie series. It was
Oh.
more than one. Can't remember what it's called, but he was a cop, I think, and he had a orangutan that rode around with him in a cop car, I think. And there was like, I think it was maybe 2 or 3 movies. Yeah, I know that was another one that was pretty big.
That sounds hilarious. And what was it? Umbrella Academy where they had the orangutan?
Oh, that was
That
a
was that
chimpanzee.
ended up yeah, but there was one where they made the show and that something set off the was it a chimpanzee that killed everybody on set?
Oh, no, 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 no.
What is that? Because they were at like a rodeo at one point.
Yeah. Was that Umbrella Academy?
I don't remember. I think it was
Yeah, but that's a
because they had a weird
chimpanzee.
UFO with like a cow.
Uh,
No, no, that
no, no,
was
no.
no, no,
Oh,
no. That was with Kiki Palmer.
oh yeah, yeah. Was
What
that
was that
Nope?
movie?
Nope.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, Nope.
yes.
Yes.
Nope. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool, cool,
because they killed
cool.
everybody on that television set, like, that was doing the yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that was wild. That was a
Uh,
wild
that
movie.
was that was a good movie. Was what that
That
was.
that that
Damn.
was good. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't know why that just randomly like I was thinking monkey, 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 and
Yeah.
then I thought of that scene, and then I was like, okay, but then I
But
was
there
thinking
was
Umbrella Academy, and I was like, no,
yeah.
it's not that.
Well, Umbrella Academy did have a chimpanzee, but it
Yeah,
talked,
he
I
was
think.
like the butler
Yeah.
thing. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. God,
Oh.
brain, brain be doing wild things sometimes. But a show that I never watched ever really in
Same.
my time of life. Okay. Um, they had a King of the Hill reveal, and it's official. Season 14 is coming back, and apparently, um, you're seeing the cast grow up in
Right.
this showcase of the trailer itself. Um,
It's been a few years since, like, I can't remember how long it's been, since the,
yeah.
like, season 3. It's been years, though, since it came out.
Hmm.
I never really watched this, but I know there's a lot of people out there who did. But I think this takes place like, Bobby's 21 now. He's a actual an accomplished chef,
Yeah.
supposedly,
Mm,
and that's about really all I know about it. But,
yeah.
there's a lot of people pretty pumped and excited about it, I guess, who used to watch it back in the day. This was out, I think, around the same time The Simpsons was hot and heavy. Like, a lot of people who
See, I
watched The
didn't watch
Simpsons
either one
watched
of
it.
those.
Neither did I. Neither did I.
Okay,
So,
cool.
I
I'm
do
not
not
the
feel
only
bad.
one because I'm
What's
like,
wild is I'm the one normally saying that, and people are like, "Oh
"Mm,
my god, really?" And I feel like, like, "Yeah, really?" So, that makes
you
me feel good.
found your
Well
match.
yeah.
Um, but like, so I don't know, like, it looks interesting and like it's not something that really looks like my art style that I'm really
Yeah.
into, and I think
Same.
that's kind of what's like throwing me off. It's kind of like a Beavis and Butthead looking
Right.
art style, and that's also something that I've never watched.
Yep.
Um, so like this is coming out on August 4th. It's coming to Hulu, and apparently like people weren't happy with how it didn't ended.
Hmm.
And they are saying that they are making good on what they did wrong, I guess.
Yeah, I think, like,
From
one
the
of the
articles
guys
that I've read.
yeah, one of the main guys, I guess, like because you always see the 4 guys standing at the fence talking. I don't know the character's name, but apparently, like, one of them was, like, super right wing, I guess, and now he's, like, leaning more left wing, in this new season, because he's realized how messed up some of the far right is or something. So, like,
Mm,
they're making some changes and tweaks in it then from, like, the original as well, but they're staying true to it being, same storyline stuff.
yeah, I have really no idea what this show is about. So
Yeah.
I'm
Uh,
like,
all I know is,
I
like
watched like the little
yeah,
teaser and I was just like,
yeah,
what am I watching?
all I know they're, like, the main guy, he sells propane tanks, and, like, I know so there's, like I know his voice or whatever for some reason, I don't know why, don't ask this, but I heard this one time, I think, from a comedian, and, like, every time I get Baja Blast now at Taco Bell, I'm like, well, I'm gonna get me a Baja Blast, and because it sounds like that guy and what he says. So like that's all I know about King of the Hill.
Okay,
but
yeah, I'm like, I have
yeah,
no idea what you're talking about. All right.
but so I'll be real quick on this. I'm not gonna dive into it, spoil anything. But I seen Lilo and Stitch. Maybe unpopular opinion. I guess maybe I don't know. I enjoyed it. I liked it. I see a lot of people hating it on the internet, and I think it's great. I think it's good. It's not scene for scene, character from character like the cartoon, but I've watched a
Mm,
couple interviews like for the creators and like why they did what they did on certain decisions, and it makes sense. Like if you
mm.
actually get to knowing why on some things, it makes sense and you would understand. Um, there's some people that are saying that Disney gave the wrong message off about how should I say this
Nani?
about foster care, I guess, and stuff, and
Yeah.
whatever. And I think people are digging in deep, too deep for this. I think there's two ways to look at that. I don't think what people are trying to say Disney gave the message across is the message that was meant to give across. I still
Mm,
enjoyed it, and I'm a huge Lilo and Stitch fan. Huge Lilo and Stitch fan. The changes and the stuff that they made, I'm happy with. I enjoy it, and I'll watch this. I'll watch this again when it's streaming. So if you've
yeah.
not seen it, go see it. I think it's good.
Yeah. This is definitely also a streaming thing for me. But once it does come out streaming, I promise you I will watch it.
I'm anxious to hear your thoughts on it once you do.
Oh. Oh boy.
Like, no. I no. I mean, like, I'm just curious, like, to hear another person's mindset on it. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
not that there's
Uh,
something in there for you to see to really get your thoughts on. Like, there's gonna be something, risque, but like, just like truly, or not risque, but you know what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm gonna shut up.
what do you think of Lilo and Stitch? I think risque. What?
Yeah.
What?
Well, I meant controversial. I don't know why I said risque. I meant controversial.
I'm over here trying not to
Wrong,
cry.
wrong
Oh
word,
my god.
wrong vocabulary came out. That is not what.
Holy
Anyways,
shit. All right. So,
I'll let you take
Tudum.
over and finish this off with the last two things.
All right, I got you. All right. So,
Woo,
so
man.
trying to keep it together now.
Yeah, and my
Ooh.
face is red. I don't even know why it got hot in here now. Woo.
All right, so Tudum, they had a couple of other things that they did showcase. One of the things that really was missing was the Emily in Paris. They had said that that was gonna, have some like season 5 like footage, maybe photos, and turns out there was nothing. Lily Collins was there and she did a little spiel about promoting, I think either One Piece or it was Wednesday or it might have been Stranger Things. I don't know. It was one of the things.
Hmm,
Um, Wednesday, the first 6 minutes of season 2 came out. Lady Gaga had her own performance, and
mhm.
One Piece season 2 had its own trailer as well. I don't really follow any of those things.
Sure.
Just want to let you guys know that it's also out there and also at the middle there is a new live action cop film with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck that's coming out. Just to name a couple of the actors that are in it.
Oh, is that the rip?
Um, it's called The Rip,
Oh,
but it's going to be coming out in January of next year. But the things that I really did want to talk about right now is Wake Up Dead Man. We finally got like a little teaser trailer. They called it a date announcement. However, the date wasn't actually in it. So I was just like, I literally screamed at the TV after I watched it. And I was like, how are you going to call that a date announcement and not even announce the date? What do you mean coming soon? So then I had to do some Googling, and the old Google machine told me December 12th, but it looks great. You got Benoit Blanc really narrating for most of the scenes. You have a very stacked cast in this too because you got to
yeah,
see Mila Kunis in it, and somebody else. What's the Jeremy Renner is
yeah.
also in it. So I am very excited for this movie because everybody knows me from what I've been talking about. As I love Knives Out. I loved
I
Knives
do.
Out,
Yeah,
Glass
I'm with
Onion,
you.
um, and this is going to be the third one in that now trilogy. So it's called Wake Up Dead Man. And I also love Daniel Craig. I
Hmm.
liked him as Bond, and I will continue saying that. Um, so the last thing we're going to talk about today is Squid Game season 3. So it is also the final season that is going to be coming out. Tudum had a trailer that came out. So this is going to be June 27th, as you saw on the poster, and it is in Korean. And then you just like read the subtitles. So it really just did say that all games end in depth as we've seen with all of the seasons leading up to this. Um, and you get to see player number 456, who is like our main man,
Mhm.
actually get to realize that the head guy was the player that he had played with and that he was like trying to keep alive, and he teamed up with. So kind of the subtitles were like, "Do you really still trust in humanity?" or something like that. Um, I I'm excited for it. I'm excited also for it to end. But I really am excited to see what they do with this to kind of close it up because season two did feel like it was just a lead up to season three, kind of like House of Dragons, like
Sure.
things that we've talked about in the past. But to really get the ending and the finale from this and them to know it's the finale, I'm excited.
Yeah. No, and as for someone who's still not watched Squid Games, I've watched a few episodes of the first season, and it's just hard, as I've said, to push through it. This trailer looks so good though. Like it makes me want to try to push through it one more time.
I
like
told you,
like
just listen to it,
because
like listen
the
to it in
scenes look
Korean.
great. The scenes look amazing
Yes.
in this trailer.
hmm Yeah, and it's brand new games that we've never seen. So, how we saw the season one, like we've seen all those games, and season two, we saw some of the same games
Mhm.
from season one, but then they started adding new games, and you're like, oh, like that merry-go-round thing was one of them. But like this in this trailer, you got to see like a maze, and you get to see that giant doll with the red light, green light
Yeah.
come back. But she has like some jump rope looking thing. So I'm like, oh, how is this gonna play out?
Yeah.
Because like, what if it's red light and this thing
Well,
comes?
and this thing is that it looks like a jump rope. It's actually like a steel bar, and it looks like it goes right like that far, and your foot can easily get caught in it, and it just breaks you
Yeah.
over and tears you apart.
Yeah, and then you fall to your death and you get to
Yeah.
see all the bodies that were down on the floor. Oh man, I'm excited to see a couple of people die from season two because like the crazy lady, like if you've seen season two, you know exactly who I'm talking about. The
Really?
crazy lady and the drug addict.
Hmm.
Those two. I'm excited to see them die, but I'm also excited to see them come back and see what they do. Um, yeah. But those were the last two things that I had to talk about.
Yeah, I think that wraps us up for this week. Um,
Yeah.
so
But
people,
look out for Nicole Sullivan's interview
yes.
on Tuesday. And super excited to have talked to her. And that was a really cool interview for me. I did geek out
Mhm.
a little bit. But we will see you guys again on Sunday.
Yep. Next,
Peace.
see ya.